Thank you. So let's we can turn our attention to the Tigers. And again, if people want to call in about where they're at with college football, you're more than welcome. What do we do with the Tigers? So you heard the report there from Jeremy. I'm not reacting to it, just like I largely didn't react to they're not going to trade Scooble right now, just like I haven't reacted to the team winning 5 of 6. I don't know what to do with this team because for every point, there is an equal counterpoint. You can say they're 12 games under 500, they're dead. I can say this is the worst American League of my adult life. Go look. You can say, well, they're going to trade Scooble. Are they? I've said all along, I don't have any. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't think they're trading Scooble because I don't think they have the chops to do so. Much easier to hold on to him and tell your fans you were only 4, 5, 6 games out of a wild card than it is to go to your owner, trade the best pitcher since Verlander, and tell the owner you're going to need about a $15 million postage stamp to send to the other team. You could tell me, okay, well, they're so far out of it. They're 9 games out or 6 games. I'll tell you, there's 98 games left. Mm-hmm. And then when you really do this, look at their next 10 games.
Oh, no, but you forgot one.
I've probably forgot several.
No. They're what, 5.5 out of the wild card. But
except there's 10 teams between you and the promised land.
Right.
So there's point and counterpoint. I've been reticent to write them off. I know you were a little quicker to do so. I don't think it's an issue of right or wrong. But now I look at 3 against Minnesota, who's terrible. I think they're 3-9 their last 12. You go to Cleveland, who swept you in a 4-game set, but Scooble may pitch Sunday. And then you go to Houston. They're terrible.
Right.
All these teams are terrible.
Right.
And the only team that's not is Seattle. Tampa Bay's been scuffling for weeks, and I think they're fake as hell. The point is, you're going to get 7 against 6 or 7 games against the Yankees the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. No Aaron Judge.
Right.
You'll play the White Sox, who it's a fun story, but they won't have Murakami. I'm making a point. I could buy if you think they're coming back. I could buy if you say, Mike, no team's ever been 15 under and made the playoffs. Here's my question. Regardless of what you think they're going to do, I have a hard time entering anything other than I still have to trade Scooble. Because if I look at the rotation without Scooble, you'd have Valdez, you'd have Melton, you'd have Mize, you'd have Montero, you'd have Flaherty. It's not terrible. It's never been terrible. I don't like the idea of losing him for nothing. I don't want to hear about a comp pick. If there's a bidding war and you can do right by this franchise in the long term, I'm still doing that. Versus, look, whatever I thought preseason is null. When we look at about 162 games of data for this baseball team, they're terrible. That's what the data says. You want to split it to an 80-game split? Even worse. And even before injuries truly hurt you, with Scooble, with Glaber, etc., you were a 500 team. So I want to know, much like we talked about Sorsby, I can't lead you in any direction except to ask the question of where are you with your Tigers? Do you believe they're about to go 2024? Because here's the problem. 24, it was a magical ending. 25, it was a horrific ending.
Right.
24 was a terrible start. 25 was the best start ever. I feel like we've encapsulated 24 and 25 all in the same 70 games.
We may, because if all of a sudden June turns out to be the antithesis of May,
right?
Where they go out there and it's what David said, I need you to go 20-4. Nah. Okay, well, watch this. And I
don't know what I need them to do. I just know I have kind of a steadfast rule. Don't ask me to get excited until you're above 500.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's not me being mean. But if you're 12 games under 500, pardon me if I'm not yelling like Cookie Monster into the sky.
Oh, the Tigers win.
I'm not doing that. I can't for a team that's 12 under. They have to produce over a period of time to where I get to say factually by the record, they are not bad, they are not good, they have a shot. So I kind of just, okay, can we take 2 out of 3 against Minnesota and set up an interesting weekend in Cleveland?
I think, you know what? I have something very similar. As I told you what happened after the Angels series, I've dropped all expectations. Go out there and play. But I'm not going to sit here and look at the stats and look at the standings. I've already said it's not going to be your year. Enjoy your summer. Go play some good baseball. See what happens. You all of a sudden to me, if you can get within 3 games of the division, I'll dial back in. I'll say you got an opportunity to win this thing. But right now, no, I can't keep doing the roller coaster ride.
No.
And as far as the Skubal thing, everything that you said makes sense, except it won't happen because if you trade Skubal, it is the Illich family, it is Scott Harris waving a white flag saying that we don't think we can win this year, and they would take away all hope. Heck, Skubal already came out and said that in West Michigan. I know it sounds silly, but I think this team could make it to the World Series. And okay, if that's how you guys believe, he's getting that information from somewhere, Mike. That's why he's not going. He should go, but he won't.
No, I'm with you. Because you have a GM who's essentially a president of baseball operations who's learning on the job. This is a career-defining move if you trade Skubal. If you pull an Avila and you get the Franklin Perez's and Jake Rogers and Daz Camerons of the world, you're probably getting fired. Now, if you keep them and they don't make it, a vast majority of fans aren't going to care. This isn't a passionate baseball town. This is daiquiris, Marlboros, and sleeveless T-shirts. That's all this town is. Baseball's a social function.
Hey, you've come over to Massa.
Oh, you've schooled me on it. So I don't think anyone would shred Harris for not trading him. I mean, we would, but who cares about us? The average fan? No, man, they're going for it. And if they fall short, they fall short. And then they'll sell you about the brilliance of a comp pick.
If you don't trade him, then that tells me you better have a deal where he's locked up.
You don't.
He's going to pitch again if he pitches against Cleveland, but I wouldn't expect a ton because I don't even think he goes 5 innings.
The point I'm trying to make is this. Okay. Well, they've won 5 out of 6. What's your record the last 10 games? 5-5. That's your record. 5-5. You know what Cleveland is over that 10-game run? 4-6. So in the aggregate, you've picked up 1 game. I've always looked at baseball in like 10-game increments. Okay, so let's go do something better. I can't write them off. I can't act like they're back. I can't figure them out. You know, did they get a gift by winning on Sunday with Seattle's bullpen meltdown, walking people left and right? Sure, but they were due a gift because they themselves have gifted games. This is what positive regression looks like. Rico, we talked about this. They were unsustainably bad in May. There's no world they would continue to lose at that breakneck pace. There was always going to be a regression to the mean, positively or negatively. So if a team gets out 20-5 and wins every 1-score game, you're going to lose those games down the line. The Tigers are always going to have won more games. Who on God's green earth thought they were going to continue a 60-win pace?
No.
Who? Call up and tell me if you actually thought they were going to lose 102 games. So winning more games is never what it's about. It's winning enough games over a long enough period of time to make up for where they put themselves. So I don't know where I'm at. There's positives, there's negatives, but yet I find myself still, I want to trade Skubal. And I think they could thread the needle. Why couldn't you trade Skubal because he refuses to sign here? I think you would get a decent, not significant, but I think you'd get a defensible package. But all in the same fell swoop, why couldn't they buy a bat at the deadline? Why couldn't they thread a needle?
They could. And here's the thing. I think that let's just entertain the thought that they actually did trade Skubal. Mike, I think you would end up getting more because I do think that a bidding war would happen amongst 3-4 teams.
Correct.
Where it's one where they're going to sit and say, guys, Skubal is there. I know we lowballed him. What if we just throw in this one prospect, this one player, and go all in for this year, and let's just win this World Series and get one of the best pitchers in baseball?
You're speaking the gospel, Rico. That's why I'd trade him. Yet, I still think without Skubal, they can chase. I do. There's no smarm.
Yeah.
And I'm also suggesting you'll go, well, how? Listen, you Guido idiot. How the hell would they trade Skubal and buy at the deadline? listen to how I laid it out. You have the rotation. You don't have to have Skubal. If he's leaving and you're questioning whether you're going to make it, you got to trade him. Yeah. But why couldn't I buy a bat?
You could.
Why couldn't I help this team?
You could. I say make the trade. And you sold me that Friday. Let's get Jesus made. Let's get him here.
Jesus Made, but the fact is it is spelled Jesus made, and we'd get him a greater life from Tyreman hat he could wear in post-game interviews. No, you're never getting that player. But look, I just want to know where you guys are at with it, and maybe you're telling me. Where are you at with your Tigers as we sit here right now? They've at least gotten off to a good start this month. They've only lost one game. You're about to start 3 against Minnesota. You get 3 against Cleveland with potentially the return of Skubal, 3 in Houston, potentially with the return of Verlander. Where are you at? Do you want them to win?
Yeah.
Do you want them to, quote, just go away? Where do you stand with Skubal? Like, it's kind of an open conversation, but I think you're kind of telling me what you think of your baseball team.
See, I think the Tigers are purgatory, Mike, where fans are just stuck in the middle. They don't want to get hurt again. They don't want to buy in again for the fear that
So why can't they approach it the way I am? I'm not writing them off, and I'm also not having a sportsgasm.
Because you lose.
I'm just going to sit and wait until they get to 500.
You lose fan bucks when you do that.
Gotcha.